You guys have been asking for the Petzl Coeur Pulse to be tested for a long time, and we're finally gonna do it. Stay tuned. Let's go over the product, the features, and all the ways you can die with this thing, because apparently there's a lot of them. So the Petzl Coeur Pulse, Coeur stands for
heart in France,
and Pulse stands for it beating. And it is a 12 millimeter, and we're going to talk about that because they are not joking. That is not something that has a lot of tolerance. So we're going to find out about drill bits and their tolerances. Basically, what does the package say, Bobby?
On the back of the package shows you how to lock and unlock it. It needs to be deployed to put in. And then you will die if you use a 2-bladed bit. They want you to use a 4-bladed bit, much like this one.
All right, we're going to measure that with our measurometer or calipers and find out exactly how many millimeters that is. It has a 3-year guarantee. I'm not sure from what. I love warranties and guarantees on bolts. It just makes me giggle. So it has a pretty standard hanger that doesn't spin on it. It is embedded into the bolt. So if this black knob is down, you can lift the sleeve or the side plates up, allowing the wedge to go into the hole. And when you release it, that goes back down, making it tight against the sides of the hole. And if you screw it up, you can't close it. It won't move. So it's a pretty nifty design. It's intended for being removable and for being a short-term bolt, possibly. It's pretty nice, actually, but it's just funny that this is 316L stainless, which is great for long-term bolts. And the Pulse is 8 millimeter, and this is Coeur Pulse, which is 12 millimeter. They got 2 sizes. What do the instructions say, Bobby?
Something that was interesting to me is it looks like they really don't want you to use that for sport climbing. The next one, don't factor 2 on this, which of course makes sense. And then don't only use 1 bolt.
Yeah, this is because there's 1. They want you to use multiple. This looks like industrial application because that is the only place I ever see a double rope ascending system.
They don't want you to install it upside down and clip a carabiner through it.
We might try that because that looks fun.
And then all normal bolt stuff.
Yeah, install it straight.
That's a really good graphic. Maybe we should steal that for the bolting Bible.
This is the maximum breaking strength. For the 12 millimeter, we got 25 if you pull it in shear and 20 if you pull it in tension. And then here, which is really nice, they have the deformation where it actually is the force you'd put on before it's basically screwed up.
Yeah, and that's probably very similar to the working load.
And it's nice if you are using a removable / reusable bolt. And so at 6 kilonewtons, you no longer can use this thing. 3 for the skinnier Pulse. Installation of the anchor. So you drill it with a 4-bit, not a 2-bit, or you die. You brush the hole out, squeeze, push, turn, lock. And then placement indicator is if it's sticking out, if you see that little bit space right there, then I guess you die because it's not in the rock all the way.
So there's an indicator, we'll have to check that it's not properly engaging in the hole, which is interesting.
Now here on Bolt Busters, from the beginning, we've always wanted to test 3 in shear and 3 in tension. It's not like a ton of samples, but it's enough to be able to draw some conclusions from. Well, we only have 3 today, so we're gonna try as many things as we can with the 3 we do have. So we're only gonna install 1 right now, and we're gonna pull it in shear, we're gonna pull it normal, and see what happens. And if it breaks super normal, standard, and boring, then we'll get creative and do all the things we're not supposed to do with these. We're noticing a interesting, I don't know if it's a problem or not, but this is open, so which means we can open it, and then closed is when it's in its locked position. And these 2 are stuck on its orange piece, and so that orange piece can't rotate around this side. It's just the problem is these black parts are stuck on them. You can see it moves that what looks like a washer, but it's more like a thimble. And we're gonna try to figure out why it's stuck, because you always have pliers with you when you're on the mountain. Yeah, you can feel it's not good for it. Wow.
So Petzl carabiners have a reputation, if you screw them too tight and then load them, they lock and you need pliers to get them undone.
Really?
Yeah, I have bootied 3 or 4 Petzl attaché carabiners because that's happened, like on an anchor, and then they couldn't get it off, and I happened to have a Leatherman in my pocket and was able to get it off. So we'll use some tools that I always carry every time I am out climbing and see if we can get this to unlock from the unlocked position.
So with the pliers, Bobby got it to be unstuck. I think this is a good time to bring up. It's anywhere between $45 and $70. The sites that I saw, you can get it in that $40 range. It only costs about $20 shipping. This is not sponsored by Petzl, in case you can't tell. If you have it in the unlocked position too tight, apparently it gets stuck. Before we put these to the test, let's talk about their use. They are temporary bolts, in case you can't tell from the removability of them. Now, for myself, I like temporary bolts or removable bolts in high lines that I'm not gonna leave up, or I don't want to leave the bolts because maybe it's a high traffic area. And Bobby, where would you use these?
My use for removable bolts is when I am developing a route. So say I don't have good access to the cliff edge, and then I don't have a tree or a boulder to tie my rope around and get to the cliff edge, I'll put in a removable bolt. These are what I use because they're $1 a piece and I can just zip them out when I'm done. And they go in a smaller hole, so less to carry, less to use. I can reuse the hanger because the hanger's not getting damaged. $1, $70.
Hypothetically speaking, if we needed temporary bolts for something we're not going to use again, aka holding down our hydraulic for the test you're about to see, we love our Titan screws. We use them all the time. Titan screws are not PPE rated, and this is more, I think, designed for industrial applications. So we like to test bolts for all the situations you would find yourself hanging from them. So the 4-point drill bit gives a rounder hole, which is very important because this bolt has a tight tolerance. If you use the 2-point drill bit that I have a bunch of, it is not going to be super good enough at elevatedclimbing.com. This is a problem I had for over a year with the fixed triplex bolts. I kept getting different 12mm drill bits, and they were not, there was a huge range there. And so I finally found a drill bit that would work because Fix at the time did not sell a drill bit on their store. And so I had to go to another source. I'm pretty confident that this 12mm 4-bit drill bit will work. It's not precision equipment, and it's, I don't know, when you wallow, if you accidentally don't drill it straight and you start to turn your drill a little bit, that could change it. That's definitely bad for these. They say that specifically. Now let's look at the bolt itself. I just feel smart with calipers, and the fact that I'm probably saying that right. 11.83 when I squeeze as hard as I can down, and the hole is going to be 12. So if this goes all the way up, if these flanges go all the way to the end of the hole, which means there's no gap here, you want to have that gap right there, which means these are not all the way to the end. Otherwise, 13.67 and you're gonna die because it'll just slip right out. Because the tightest you're gonna get this in is 11.77. So 11.7 to 13.7 is the range. So if it's at 12, obviously it'll be safe. The drill bits are 12.2, still safe. But once you hit that mid-13s range, this thing's not going to grab the sides of the rock. The whole point is that the wedge of this thing is opening this up and pushing it against the rock. Let's just break stuff. I know you want me to skip to that. And in case you can't tell, we have chapters in the timeline below. So you can skip all this talking if you don't care about the weeds. Since we like to get into the weeds, we have measured our hole. So, depending on how I do my angle, that is 12 millimeters.
then we lock it.
And then you
so
lock
you
it.
can't
Yeah.
engage that.
So this gap right here is really important. That means the side flanges are pushing against the side of the rock and not just chilling at the bottom. How hard is it to pull out? Well, it's locked, Bobby.
I'm gonna get it to fail. Okay.
Yeah. Bobby's our new bolt buster.
Not bad.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
The fixed triplex bolts are not that easy. All right, so I can see the $70 value, sort of. That was so strong. I was watching the dynamometer. It gutted the crap out of this thing. It ripped the hanger off. The bolt actually stayed in.
This is an unusual result for us. Normally it breaks here. Like this, we may have to angle grind to get it off.
Great.
So there's marks in the backside. I wonder if that was machined in there, or if
we did that. Look what Bobby just found. That is an interesting result. That those snapped halfway down.
So this is our 2-point drill bit. Drilled that hole. That's the 4-point. Visually, I don't really see a difference. So going in the 2-bladed hole, it fits in there nicely. But we noticed there is some movement here. I can feel the bolt knocking back and forth against the sides of the hole.
That part doesn't secure it anymore, other than it won't.
You can't
push it down.
You can't push that down.
Okay, let's try the other one.
Much less movement.
So you're saying the right drill bit's important?
I would say so.
So something I've noticed with these is the hanger doesn't spin. So right now, it doesn't.
Hear it grinding in there.
You can hear it grinding. I'm wondering if we install this at the wrong direction and then pull and twist under a load. I'm wondering if that will compromise it. Because when you're using this, these flanges seem pretty small or skinny. And if you twisted them, would they break and compromise? I don't think they would. I'm just overly impressed with this bolt at this point. Most hangers don't even break at 47 kilonewtons. So I'm pretty jazzed.
For $70, you better be impressed.
So this has now spun, and it has this gap under here. So it did affect it. Okay, the mechanism looks to be okay. It's straight. So we put this in the hole again, and I can manually turn it, and basically it's anticlimactic. It's not damaging anything. And the new ones, I believe, have a free rotating hanger here. So that's, I don't believe, worth testing further. What I do want to test is if you were to have the carabiner get lifted up for whatever reason. This is a lot easier with the other carabiner, but that is what they specifically say not to do. That makes me want to do it. Whoa. There is 6 kilonewtons on this. What's funny is this bolt's pretty amazing, but they say you're not allowed to like fall or anything on it. It's just meant for like repelling and doing window washing. But that snapped that pin off. That gap under there is because this side of the rock is higher. But nonetheless, that's what happens when you do it wrong. Oh, wow. It came out. Really? That should go on the museum wall. Okay, so we just got to do the ultimate twist test because it rotated 180 degrees and then we kept pulling. So you're gonna damage a $70 bolt, but you're not gonna die.
You won't be able to get it out again.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
That is really cool carnage. Ah, it's coming off that other pin too.
Yeah.
So it's these side plates eventually come off.
Yeah.
So what do you think of these, Mike?
I'm enamored by them.
Yeah.
We have a set full sitting in a rigging room that we've never touched. So it's nice to see how these are going to break. Pull the sleeve back. Set it.
And forget it.
Forget it.
All right, let's pull it. She's holding. She's holding. Oh, she's still holding. Oh, she's gonna blow. Oh. Oh, she's gonna blow. Oh. She pulled out. That is not reusable. Slightly deformed, but it's mostly damaged the location it's supposed to be sitting. I don't know if I can. Nope, I can't fix that. I did push this back together. Ooh, wouldn't that be fun if we could use this again? Oh wow, it's holding. Or it's not. Oh wow, it's holding a lot. Or it's not. Okay, that was definitely less than the previous time. You're not supposed to be whipping on these anyways. They're only supposed to be used in, it looks like, rappelling situations, which is pretty impressive for a 40 kilonewton bolt. So put in the comments below whatever we said wrong, whatever you know more about these, and where you use them. I don't know anybody personally that uses these, and I learned a lot from people in the comments. I'm sure you learn a lot from people in the comments below because they're always correcting me, which is good. It's a self-correcting system. If you made it to the end of this video, you win a free subscription to this channel. Just click that subscribe button and you are entered in to win. Please click the like button, and these subscribe things